What'd you make of the Crawford versus Spence fight? What was your reaction to it?
I called it. I called it. I said, "What's Southpaw's kryptonite? Another Southpaw." And so that's what he did. That's what Crawford came out from the first round. Because as a Southpaw, I said, "Oh man, what did I tell you?" And then the day it panned out. I didn't think it was going to be that one-sided, but it definitely panned out the way I thought that it was going to be. For Crawford being the winner, but at the end of the day, my hats off to Spence because he still was in there trying to do what he could do, but it wasn't much.
A lot of people online have suggested that maybe like the weight cut had affected Errol coming into the fight. Yeah, when I see that, I'm like, don't take anything away from Terence. Terence is a great fighter, but you've lived it as a fighter. You've also lived it as a trainer. Is it within the realm of possibility that it could have affected him?
Look, at the end of the day, regardless of whether it be, at the end of the day, we have to, be professionals and be. Hey, we had to make the weight. You should have not contracted that weight if that's what the weight you couldn't make. Look, my last fight with Mosley, I didn't have nothing. He said the only way you give me the fight is 154. I did it, but it drained me, it killed me, and I have nothing the second fight. So at the end of the day, hats off to him because he made me get down the weight and it was beneficial for him because he knew that I couldn't make the weight no more. And he goes, it wasn't for a world title, but he goes, if you want the rematch, you're going to come down to 54. So I did it. It killed me. And the results were, what the results were. I got knocked down. I got back up. I tried to get it back up. And, I couldn't get my legs under me, and that's what happened. But at the end of the day, that's you can't cry about that, you know what I mean, and you can't say that, well, it was weight draining. That's what you agreed to. You shouldn't agree to it, and I shouldn't agree to me, fighting at 54. But I wanted the rematch. Mosley goes, hey, if you want the rematch, you're gonna fight get down 54, right? And what did I do? I had to do it.
It's funny, the rematch is scheduled to be at 54 for them two. In your opinion, should they do an immediate rematch, and does it look any different at 154?
Look, man, I don't know. I just know that right now, Terence is the man right now, and he's a two-division undisputed world champion, and who could take that away? Nobody. So, I think it'll be the same thing, the same result, but maybe Spence fights a little bit more, but we'll see.
The 154 move, because Terence is a smaller guy, he's also said he wants to fight Jermell. Do you see him stylistically being able to take that fight and look dominant in that fight?
Against Jermell?
Yeah.
That's Spence?
No, Crawford.
Well, I mean, look, what weight?
54.
54.
Yeah, a third division undisputed.
Look, right now, Crawford's the man, and, he's on a level that is very hard to get to. So, right now I think he's the best fighter in the game, and my hat's off to him.
Fernando, we've seen Emmy fighting here this weekend. 6 pro fighter already, man. It's getting a lot of experience, getting going. But as you see his development, man, what do you think he's improving on, and how is he developing according to your standards?
He's doing great. He's doing everything I'm telling him to do. We're in camp. He never asks me, why do I do this? Why should I not do this? Or, what I mean? So at the end of the day, he's doing everything I'm telling him to do. And so we're excited. He's going to be 6, pro fight. And, we're working.
Is it nervous for you, like working the corners? Like when you're seeing him, though he doesn't get hit a lot, like when a punch does land, like what goes through your mind, and how much of how nervous is it for you?
Well, I mean, I'm not nervous at all. I'm really just, because I know that what I put my kids through so they can be ready to fight. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm there every single day, with them, so I know what they could do and what they can't do. So it doesn't. I know that their preparation is 110%. So, and because I'm not gonna step into the ring with them if it's not. And at the end of the day, you know, they know that, and so I just know what they could do.
Is there a difference between like you as a trainer and you as a dad when you're training them and you're in the corners?
Well, when I'm in the corner, I'm definitely, you know, the boss. You know, and so, and when I'm at home, I'm the boss. So it's almost the same thing, but just different roles. You know, because you know when they're at home, you know, you just, you know, you're correcting them on stuff that they need to do. Just same thing almost in the gym. You know, you're correcting them on stuff they need to do. So, you know, it's all a process. I love this. You know, this is something that I didn't have, and so it's a blessing to me to be living this.
In your opinion, we've seen a lot of father-son duos, and for the most part, recently they've been working. In the past, they didn't work as much. What's your like take on that when other like commentators bring up like, oh, like dads shouldn't be training the sons because there's a lot of like conflict and a lot of butting heads going on. Like, how are you able to manage that so far and manage it successfully?
I think Timothy Bradley was very opposed to it because, you know, his dad didn't know nothing about boxing. His dad was not a world champion, you know, Hall of Famer, or a fighter that was able to step into the ring and become somebody. At the end of the day, you know, my boys know that I'm there for them 110%, and there's nothing that they're gonna go through that I didn't already live. You know, I was a HBO fighter, you know, and the youngest junior middleweight champion in boxing history, a 3-time world champion, and an Olympian. So at the end of the day, everything they're gonna go through, I already been through, and so I know what it is to be under the bright lights of the main event, being on HBO at the end of the day on pay-per-view. So. You know, it's different hats that you got to put on, but at the end of the day, I'm doing that with a lot of pride and joy.
You as a dad, what worries you the most for them in like this path, this road that they're taking as professional boxers? There's
nothing that worries me because you know, what I lived, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, the you giving money that, you know, you didn't need to give. Yeah, I make sure that my kids like, you know that. You know what I mean? There was people that were part of my team that shouldn't have been getting paid because they weren't doing nothing. But because I was a nice guy and now, you know, I have a good heart, you know, I took care of those people. So that's something that my boys are not going to do because at the end of the day, they're not taking the punches in there for you. And at the end of the day, you could end up losing your life in there. And so, you know, that's something that I make sure that my kids are not going to be, you know, wasting their money on people that are not doing anything. And if there's people not doing something, they're going to be deleted from their corner or from their team because I'm going to be, me and their mother are very much, you know, involved in everything, all the aspects of the boxing, from the managing, from everything. We're there 110 steps of the way.
Canelo and Charlo. Does Charlo give him a great fight, a close fight, or is the weight move up in weight just too much for him against Canelo?
I think Canelo is the best fighter in the game. You know what I mean? Look, my idol's Chavez, and I've always said it. But if you do not say that Canelo is the best fighter that Mexico's ever had, then you're being a liar. Then you're being not 100% truthful. And my idol's Chavez, and I've always said it. But the accolades speak for themselves. So right now, I definitely pick Canelo.
Over Charlo.
Over Charlo.
Yeah. All right. Fernando, good seeing you. Appreciate it. Man, I had to rush to get his son who fights this weekend here in Arizona. This is Marcos Viegas, Fight Up TV.